So, guess who was fast on Facebook this week? Yep, this guy here was.
Dorky and 40 Chad racing one of the fastest guys in Nprc.
All right, right now we have Frank in the right, Chad in the left, followed by Jeff in the right, Joker in the left, followed by David Brown in the right, Tank in the left, followed by Dustin in the right, Anthony in the left.
He said he put it all to it. We'll see. He's been having a good day running R1 stuff. Frank got him.
Right lane.
Not fast enough to win that race, but that is okay with me. So we'll talk a little bit about the race that happened this past weekend. We're going to talk about the new Maclan software update that is out for all the DRKs now. 5-Star has another secret chassis that is out. All of that and more on your favorite MPRC news show. This is the Fast on Facebook show. I am Chad. This is the Dorky and 40 RC channel, and let's get fast on Facebook. Let's go. Huge shout out to the 419 crew, Erica, Tony, everybody up there for basically making a great event out of what was just an odd situation with the whole thing in Kentucky. They decided to have it up here in the 419. Friday night was amazing. The timing system got taken out. We had to finish it old school style with cameras and lights and flashlight starts and all that kind of fun stuff. The rain rolled in about an hour and a half after the race action started, so the race never got completed. But man, for a first time experience for me, yeah, it's like my first real race that I went to. Amazing, guys. Like, I had a great time there. Big shout out to them up there. They really got a great program, and some of the fastest people are just up there. Dustin was there, Frank, Jeff Zuccarell, everybody was there as far as I could tell, except for like the West Coast guys. So it was really awesome just to kind of see where I am compared to those guys. Obviously, they are like way ahead, and Frank blew me out by about probably 10 to 15 cars, but just getting the chance to step up and do something like that, you know, racing a person of that caliber, it was great. Like, it would have been great for me in the channel, of course, if I would have taken him out, but it was even better just having that experience. And that's the kind of stuff that I want you guys to know. There was guys, gals that were up there that were running slower times, that were still going rounds. They were having fun, crashes, all kinds of stuff can happen. So don't think that you have to have a 1.7 monster to get up there and race and have fun and have a chance to do something special. But yeah, as far as the car goes, we'll be talking a lot about that. I still want to get some more testing and tuning going in on everything, because I have made a lot of changes to the car, guys, a lot. We're talking extreme, even more weight reductions. Of course, you know, if you're a subscriber here, that we switched to the R1 system, and that has just been great. But we've done like a lot of things, chassis changes, just all kinds of stuff, different batteries, so on and so forth. Just testing, gearing, timing, all that kind of stuff, trying to get our heads wrapped around everything. Got some nice little tips from people, and Mark Vine's old video that he did on R1 Works, trying to apply a lot of that stuff to the actual car, and it works out great. And it really seems right now that the R1 ESC with that Castle motor is like the way to go. So if you've got that thing kicking around, like I might have somewhere around here, you might want to put that in your car. Wait and see. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Maclan software update. And this is a big deal because there's a lot of changes inside here. We're talking about being able to add boost into your individual stage times, delay those out, and everything else, which is a pretty cool feature and very, very important, as we all know. I mean, the biggest thing that I've learned with R1 Works so far, and I'm using their auto throttle calculation right now, is being able to just control all of that power throughout the entire hit. And with Maclan, the whole premise a year ago, which was great, was to kind of have your stages to get you to 100%, and then you would add the turbo and kind of go beyond. And they've refined that. They went from 5 stages to 7 stages and everything else. Well, then they got blown out at King of the Streets, and they saw what everybody else was doing. So they put this software update out there, and it's a pretty important thing to like think about and remember. So first of all, a lot of people are all kind of like bent out of shape because if you flash this, your warranty expires immediately. Not a big deal since most of us have had our ESCs for a long time. Now they'll still honor their replacement program. If you blow up your ESC or whatever, even with this firmware, they will replace it for whatever the fee is now, 150 or 180, not 100% sure. There's two different steps to this, and you have to do it on the PC. The first one, of course, is going to be accepting responsibility. And what they are going to do is they are going to install basically this new bootloader on there, which is going to prevent you from going back in time and flashing an older version of the software on there. I'm not 100% sure why they do that. I'm probably just out of speculation and what I know about coding and software and stuff is they probably just don't have the actual flash space to basically have two different bootloader versions on there. And when you go from a certain code base to another, you kind of have to rewrite all that. So it kind of just makes sense. You know, in the last update, they got rid of some profiles to free up some space and everything else. So it only makes sense that they would have to just kind of jump in to that next evolution and, you know, put a new bootloader on there and stuff. And, you know, they should give you a fail-safe option. They could have coded in like with holding the power button down for a couple seconds or something like that. They could have actually written that into the code. You know, I mean, all of my FPV stuff has that kind of like a fail-safe bootloader, but they decided not to. So that's okay. I don't think when you get this on there that you're going to want to go back anyway. So it's really not a big deal. But once you get that flashed, then you're also going to need to flash the actual new software on there, which is 30.16. And if you click on the website here and look at 30.16, there's really not a whole lot on the actual website. But if you go onto the McLaren group and you want all the details on everything, there's a ton of information on here. I took a look at it on a couple of my friends, DRKs, and I'll eventually get mine flashed whenever I get the DR10 and the Street Sweeper chassis built up. That's pretty much what I'm going to throw in there. I'm not going to throw it in the Outlaw car. I just don't see a point. I love the R1 system right now until something better comes out and proves different. The R1 is just awesome. The logging is incredible, and I like the way that the Wi-Fi works, even though it's a little janky. But I just love being able to do all that stuff after having to log around like the Castle and the Castle Inc. and everything like that. By the way, Castle has also just released a new B-Link firmware for the phone that will actually allow you to do data logging and all that on your device now. So Castle is definitely all in on this drag racing game, guys. So it's going to get interesting. I still have the Castle ESC. So when they put out some drag racing specific stuff, I really don't have a problem throwing it back in there. Only problem would be the weight penalty. It's going to have to really be worth it and put out some power and be safe. Maybe if I have troubles with these current ESCs blowing up and stuff like that, because we know that the Mamba is just, you know, bulletproof. I mean, try to take one apart like I just did, and you'll see what bulletproof actually is. So we see kind of people just kind of all over the place when it comes to the actual like performance of this update. I mean, honestly, looking through here more and more, it looks like people are basically more worried and concerned and having more issues than actually putting results up of how well this firmware is doing. You know, they teased this a lot for the past couple weeks. You know, here's one here, the Drk Unlock for the win this weekend. You know, it's definitely going to take some time to figure things out because there is just so many tuning parameters that are built in there, and you're literally going to have to do all that stuff by yourself besides the actual preloads that they on there. I would assume that they updated the preloads like the 3.5 and 4.5 high traction, low traction tune. Last time I checked, most people were running a 3-turn, so I don't know if they added a 3-turn preset for people. That would just only make sense since the drivers just talk about running 3-turn McLaren motors. So where's the 3-turn preset? Hopefully it's in there. Let me know in the comments below if there is. So since we're on the R1 kick now, we'll just take a look at the R1 stuff. Definitely some things about like power switches. Make sure you guys are replacing those. Things asking about capacitors and capacitor caps. Most important thing on the R1 system, if you get one right now and you want to put it in, is that you don't really need that big 30 or 60 gram cap pack. The one that you do need is the one that actually comes with the actual R1 ESC itself. It's the 3 bank row. I did measurements on it. It's at around 4,900 microfarads, as well as this 30 gram cap pack right here is at 4,600 microfarads. So all the fast guys are not running these things. I've seen all their cars. All it is an additional 40 to like 70, 80 grams of weight. So you don't need that. And you can also see that I went back to XT90s because I didn't see anybody that was running 80 miles per hour running QS8. So, you know, they're definitely doing everything they can to like strip weight down and all that kind of stuff. And that's a reason why we've got the R1 1100 battery coming. I was running the 1500 battery this week, and it was holding voltages like silly holding a voltage, but going down to that 1100 will allow me to get more milliamps than I have in the Phantom there, and actually come in about 5 to 10 grams, maybe even more, depending upon how it weighs out, less than what's in there. And believe it or not, the 1500 R1 pack that I had in there this weekend was only 45 more grams than that 9900 Phantom. So they're doing something really special with these batteries. Evidently they're only 4P, but they are large 4P cells. I saw everybody pretty much running them or max amps as I kind of walked around and did a little bit of spying as much as I could. You know, people are really involved in their race programs. So the last thing I want to do is like bug people and all that kind of stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of people, I was very, very humbled that people came to me and recognized me and my voice and spoke to me, and what somebody even wanted a picture and an autograph. So I love all 9,200 of you guys. So it was very, very special time. It was worth the price of admission for sure. So we just spoke about the whole Castle B-Link update and everything, and they are actually paying a bounty as well. So if you're running Castle stuff at the Super Chips, whether you have the ESC or the ESC and the motor, Castle is actually going to be pitching in extra money to basically come your way if you win or you do something. So if you win first place and you got the ESC and the motor, they're going to give you basically $2,500 to, if you extra on top of it, if you have that. If you're running just the motor, it looks like it's going to be around, oh, I don't know. Looks like you got to have both in there. You can read through this stuff and everything if you want to. But again, it just shows you how serious Castle is about this game. And that really should be making everybody scared, because if they come out with some kind of high powered ESC that has a little bit of a weight reduction and can handle the abuse that the Mamba Max 6 or 8S can actually handle. I've even heard recently that people are having more success with the 6S version, probably because it comes in at a lower weight than the 8S. But Castle is definitely going to be in the game hard this year. So that R1 Castle combination has really just kind of elevated their game, because people are buying their motors and using them, and they're like, why shouldn't they be using our ESCs as well? So that's good for us. So the people over at 5-Star, you know, I love my 5-Star chassis. The thing is so freaking durable. I did have a horrific crash up there. The lanes up there are literally like 7 to 8 feet wide, if that. Like, you absolutely need a straight car. And I can't tell you how many passes that I actually let out on because I did not want to wreck into these curbs or anything else like that. So if you're a parking lot racer, you need to make sure that your car is going straight before you go to some of these races. So the most important thing is figure out how to make it straight. But they've got we were all excited about their strip chassis that was coming out, and now it looks like they've got something else going on here, Project Fury, which you know, again, is got like things like, it looks like they're doing the whole floating body mount type of thing. And obviously they've got their homemade transmission on there, just all kinds of cool little things, dual servos to control the actual steering. Very, very interesting process. Velcro strap for a certain battery up front. So tons and tons and tons of actual screw holes and replacements there. So you could probably just go ahead and move things around wherever or whenever you needed to. I'm guessing this is the weight of the whole chassis built up, 1,502 grams, and that's pretty nice. All the different extra little pieces and stuff, some servo mount pieces, and you gotta love this kind of innovation. I think a lot of this is being driven by the success of the DC-1 chassis. The DC-1 chassis is very intriguing, but it's very pricey when you start pricing everything together. I am still going to stick with my breakout, which I wouldn't even know what to call it now. Maybe like a V2.5, because it has a lot of different things on it, like different shock towers and the new straight wheelie bar that they have, and got rid of the old dual wheelie bar, and a lot of the stuff that made the breakout special for me last year, like the weight boxes and stuff like that. Well, I mean, they're just absent now. I don't have them on there. I want a car that's light and as close to minimum weight as possible. So my car right now is just a hair over 2,400 grams, or maybe a hair under, depending upon what my scale decides to say. And, you know, that is working good. And I also noticed that reduction in current and increase in power just by dropping off another like 70 to 80 grams off the car the other night, you know, with the R1 system. So again, a lot more coming on that here soon. We've got a lot of races coming up. You know, we've got the Super Chips race coming up. We've got the SummerSlam coming up here in a month back in Maumee, where I'll be going. There's just all kinds of events and everything coming up. The biggest things that I can see out there right now, there's a lot of Apollo cars out there. People are obviously jumping on with that. I seen a lot of Apollo cars break as well this weekend, and I heard that they're a little pricey to actually fix. So again, I have no plans from switching from the breakout chassis right now. Something is going to have to like come my way or come out that is really going to blow me away. Just the durability and stuff alone of this design, being able to use the associated buggy parts and stuff and getting those in stock, you know, leaving that stock transmission in there, even though it doesn't spin for days when you spin it, it's still working out really great for me. And we're just getting faster. I mean, we've got a 195 car for sure, 71 to 74, 75 miles per hour. Who knows? That pass against Frank, we had no timing system. That was the one that said 2.0 at 73 miles per hour. Who knows how fast that pass was? It was a great, perfect pass. I couldn't have laid down a better run. I'm guessing it had to hit at least 75, and maybe it was a high 1.8 run. I mean, I'm guessing that he was definitely running, you know, in the 1.7s, and to beat me by, you know, 10 to 15 cars, I don't really know what the math adds up to, but I know that it was a perfect pass. The GNSS time was kind of variable throughout the day. Sometimes it was like 0.5 seconds off from the track system. Sometimes it was like 0.2 seconds off from the track system. The only thing consistent was that the mile per hour on the GNSS was actually lower every time. So maybe about like 2, sometimes 3 mile per hour. So if my GNS said I run a 71, the track system would usually say 73 or 74. So you guys can keep that in mind. I ran a couple of GNSs that day as well, just to kind of see the variability. And they both were like within a mile per hour of each other, or like, you know, 100th of a second. So there's really not a big difference. So don't waste your money going out and buying a new one to try to see if you're going any faster or not. And I guess finally, I want to talk about Exotech. I saw people running some of their new twister wheels out there this weekend, which are pretty awesome. They've got different transmissions and stuff coming. They're kind of one of those companies that, you know, you hear a lot and you see a lot, but I don't think really gets a lot of credit. They make some really quality stuff, and it looks like they're really coming hard after, you know, if you're coming out with a transmission gearbox for the B6. I mean, you're taking a direct shot at a lot of people. And I'm guessing, you know, that quality is going to be like, say, 75 to 80% of the quality of, you know, a transmission from maybe GFRP or 5-star, and you're probably going to be coming in at about half of the price. So I'm really excited to see these kind of products coming out. Again, I'm sure development is going to be stymied and everything else because of things that are going on in the world right now. But man, it's just awesome to see like all of that stuff that's going on. So that is all I got for you guys. Just big news items, a little bit of fun that I got to have, and I'm glad that we were along this journey together. I wish I would have got way more race footage. I have basically like nothing. Just so involved in like the program and everything like that, and like your brain just literally starts to like melt and hurt. I planned on getting a lot more on Saturday since I didn't on Friday, but then of course, you know, it got rained out and everything else like that happened. Last night we went and did some testing. The road here was not that good, so we didn't get a lot of testing in. So I really want some really good log data to show you guys on the updates that I've made to the car, which I know work, because I did get to actually come home, rebuild it again, and then go out that Saturday night and run and test things out again. And we ran the best numbers at the test spot that we've ran this year. We were in the 2.2s. Now we're at the 2s again. So I'm ready to crack that 2 on a GNSS and show that. That'll make me happy. Doesn't mean anything, but I've never actually cracked a 2 on the GNSS or 75 miles per hour. I think we got to 73. So that is going to do it for this show, guys. Love each and every one of you. We will see you guys on the next episode, hopefully later this week, with maybe that awesome picture off that iPhone. So we will talk to you later. Peace.